After previously reviewing Kin Hang's Super Console X2 Pro and being pleasantly surprised, we felt it was time to review their Super Console X4 Plus. So as always, the team over at Kin Hang were kind enough to donate a Super Console X4 Plus for an independent review. As the X2 console, the X4 was thoroughly shipped and well packaged in a gloss high finish box. It came packaged with a 1 meter HDMI cable, a remote control which can be used for streaming services and adjusting settings on the gaming console, a power supply, an additional 4GB micro SD card, and the Super Console X4 Plus itself. As well as an English-based user manual. This package retails for approximately US $139 shipped and is available through Kin Hang's Amazon store or through their website direct. The console measures approximately 5 inches long by 4 inches wide by 1.5 inches deep and weighs approximately 0.4 pounds. The side of the console features a TF card slot as well as a USB 2.0 and USB 3.0 slots, while the rear of the console features an HDMI, AV and LAN ports. The console is equipped with a quad-core ARM Cortex A55 CPU with a main frequency of 2.0 GHz, as well as 4GB DDR3 Plus RAM, Wi-Fi at 2.4 GB and 5 GHz, as well as a 1GB LAN connection and Bluetooth 4.0. The console also supports 4K and 8K video playback at 60 frames per second and can be programmed in multiple languages. Unfortunately, just like the X2 console, the X4 comes with replica PS2 controllers. The controllers are made from a rigid plastic and would benefit for some rubber grips. Button response is just fine, and the controller functions off a Bluetooth dongle and is powered off 2 AAA batteries, which is a little disappointing for this day and age. The console comes with a lightweight remote, which controls all the functionality of the gaming system as well as smart TV services and runs off 2 AAA batteries. After consultation with Kin Hang Direct, they've assured us that their operating system has been updated and any glitches and double ups of ROMs have been removed, which is pleasing to hear. Just like the previous X2 Pro model, Kin Hang has decided to keep the cumbersome intro model, which we believe is used for marketing purposes. The console itself is Android based and runs off a RetroArch software, which contains approximately 66,000 games. Enjoying this video? Now's the perfect time to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Running off Android 11.0 and RetroArch as its base, the console features over 60 emulators for all your classic consoles, including MAME, Atari, Amstrad, Commodore 64, Sega Master System, Sega Mega Drive, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Atari ST, just to name a few. And it's pleasing to see it also features some of the more rarer consoles, like PC Engine, IRM, 3DO, Virtual Boy, Game & Watch, Pokemon Mini, and Sega Naomi. In this independent review, we wanted to put the console through its paces. So what better system to test it on than the N64? With hundreds of classics to choose from, what better game to start with than Mario 64? The console had no problem whatsoever loading the game itself in adequate time, as well as its 3D graphics. There was no lag, and the frame rate appeared to be normal during the intro. Time to test it during gameplay. To emulate the feel of the N64 controller, we decided to use the analog sticks. Gameplay was smooth and button response was perfect. The Super Console X4 Plus passed with flying colours. It was now time to test it on another memory-hungry console. This time we turned to MAME, the arcade classic emulator. With hundreds of titles to choose from, set out in alphabetical order, we had our hearts set on one of the all-time arcade side-scrolling classics. You guessed it, how could we go past Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Adding credits was as simple as pressing the select and start buttons and then choosing your favourite character. There's just something special about bringing those childhood arcade classics to the big screen. The graphics appeared fine and gameplay was smooth, even though it was running off a 4K TV. The original arcade classic ran off 480p. However, the console was able to upscale to 720p at 60 frames per second, which was more than adequate. With all the excitement of mashing the buttons during gameplay, the option menu appears shortly. Other than that, gameplay appeared just fine. Another memory-hungry console which we wanted to test on the Kinhank X4 Pro was the PS1. Having previously tested it on the X2 with minimal issues, playing 007, Rayman and Crash Bandicoot, this time we want to test it on the X4 with Mortal Kombat 3. It was pleasing to see that the emulator recognised the console and automatically saved space for the memory card. Being almost 2 decades from the original release of the PS1, the X4 Plus had no problem loading the game in adequate time frame. Having not played Mortal Kombat 3 on the PS1 for many years, our gameplay was a little rusty, and due to mashing the buttons, the options menu appeared once again.
Fatality.
Losing with a fatality made the pain just a little less. Resetting the console is just a matter of pressing start and the select button twice to return to the main menu. The next classic console off the ranks was the Sega Saturn. We were a little disappointed to see that Daytona wasn't added to the ROMs list. However, we opted for the classic Street Fighter Alpha. Loading speed appeared to be fine, as well as the intro. The only issue we came about playing on the 4K TV was the original game was meant for 480p, and at a stretch 720p at 60 frames per second, there was a little bit of ghosting. However, this didn't sour our experience playing the all-time classic. Having never tested a Sega CD on a 4K TV, we felt it was a worthy contender. So what better game than Fatal Fury? It was pleasing to see that the console was able to load the emulator and ROM within a reasonable time or drop in frame rate. Gameplay was smooth and button response was quick, which added another positive to the X4 Plus console review. After the initial Game Boy boot at 720p at 60 frames per second, the image did appear a little pixelated, but that's expected when stretching the original image from 240p upwards. Gameplay appeared to be smooth and audio was loud and crisp. Response from the controller was spot on. And within the first 30 seconds of playing Super Mario Bros. 3, all those secrets came back to mind. As well as being an all-in-one retro game emulating system, the console is also capable of playing all your favourite streaming services. We found that the remote supplied was the optimal way of changing the settings within the system, due to its simple, clear laid out format, unlike using the replica PS2 controller. System settings allow language changes, button configuration, as well as sound and Wi-Fi changes. And if 66,000 ROMs and over 60 emulators is not enough for you, well, you're in luck. With the manual clearly set out in English, you can add more folders for your favorite emulators and ROMs. There's nothing like recalling those childhood memories and nostalgia of playing those retro video games. So next time you're in the market for a mid-range, all-in-one console, why not consider Kin Hank's Super Console X4 Plus?